information. Please, Elaine.
Okay, my name is Elaine Golds. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Burke Mountain Naturalists in Coquitlam, where we hope that we will get a meeting.
When is the meeting?
Yeah, when is the meeting? We've been asked that before. We'd like answers. Where are the meetings, and when is that deadline going to be extended? What will it be extended to? Because we all need more time to comment on the 3-inch binder for the park boundary adjustment. Before I start asking a couple of questions, I do want to say that Judy Williams is here from the Fraser River Coalition. She is not standing in line to speak at the mic, so she asked me if I would please announce that all 30,000 members of the Fraser River Coalition are opposed to this project.
I think that you know she's welcome to speak in.
It's a long line, the evening is getting late. The Burke Mountain Naturals, of course, are also opposed to the project. We have a yellow handout here if people want to get copies and learn why. One of the things we're really concerned about is the deletion of land for our park, to which we are adamantly opposed. I'm really concerned that the deletion of land for the park seems to be on a fast-track process. We've been asked to get comments in by April 8th. We understand that BC staff will be writing up a report, that the minister will receive that on that basis, make a recommendation, and it could go as soon as the spring sitting of the legislature for a vote in the House. Now, this could be all over for our park in only a few weeks, and I think that's absolutely appalling. If you look at the park boundary policy for adjusting boundaries, it says that proponents must submit a formal request for park boundary review by August the 1st to allow sufficient time for a request to be considered the following spring. You know when these guys submitted their request? It wasn't August, it was December. So why are we being told that this could be something that would be decided at this sitting of the spring legislature? We don't want to see this park adjustment fast track, and that's what the government is up to now.
Okay, hang on. Do you have any comment?
Yeah, I don't think that we're fast tracking this project. You're right that the policy does say that the proponent should apply by August 1st to be considered for the spring legislature. Now that's a maximum. The policy also says that requests received after that will be dealt with on a best efforts basis to get it in front of the next session of the legislature. So I am not aware that this is going to be in the spring session of the legislature, but I would emphasize to everybody here that that is a decision that is made by the cabinet, who sets the legislative agenda.
Go ahead.
The other thing that we asked for at the Pitt Meadows meeting was that all comments submitted on the park boundary adjustment be made transparent and posted to the BC Parks website, just as the Environmental Assessment Office does. Do we have a decision on that yet?
Yes, as I said at the last meeting, we'll be putting all the comments on the website.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Okay, there's a lot of people behind me who've been standing here very patiently. I would suggest at future meetings that you have a speakers list, because it's really hard to stand in line for an hour or so. I know there's one gentleman who wants to speak, but he walks with a cane because he has 2 artificial knees. He hasn't been able to stand in line, and as a consequence, he may not have an opportunity to speak. I think that's most unfortunate.
Elaine, we will stay this evening until everybody has a chance.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I have a question now addressed to Upper River. Some of the information that you have up here I found to be a little bit misleading. Over on the information boards over there, where you talk about the Steve Creek corridor, you have areas of mature forests, and you define those forests as being of 80 years or older. Those forests are actually 250 years of age, and they're old-growth forests. They're within 10 kilometers of one of the last few nests of spotted owls in the province. We don't want to see those forests disturbed, and they're in the way of your proposed transmission line. So the forest should stay and the transmission lines should go. Despite the fact that you define mature forest as being only 80 years, maybe that's so we don't know what's old growth in age. On the boards over here, where you've got two shades of green, you make the pale green look like they're clear cuts and you define them as young forest, 140 years or younger. So make up your mind. What's a mature forest? What's a young forest? I guess it depends on the impression that you're trying to create. Another thing I'm concerned about is that over here you point out how you want to make a park addition, and of course it's not your land, it's our land, but you want to make a park addition because it's grizzly bear. It's been identified as grizzly bear habitat. A grizzly bear habitat, wildlife habitat area. Okay, well over on this board, where you talk about where you want to put in your Steve Creek intake, you don't show where that grizzly bear habitat is. In fact, your intake is right within the grizzly bear habitat area. So if you're really so interested in protecting grizzly bear habitat, why are you proposing to put a road and an intake and a dam and a head pond in it? Over here, when you're making the case that you're doing such a good job by wanting to add grizzly bear habitat, you don't show any of those structures. That's misleading. Now, I'm just about finished, but one thing that's been raised here is whether we need this electricity in BC and what you intend to do with it eventually. Well, I happen to have your page from one of your PowerPoint presentations that you did in New York City. It says here, California looks to BC. You can see that probably in the big headlines. What you can't see down below, it says, run a river set to meet demand. There's lots of other people behind me, and that concludes my comments, but there's more that needs to be said, and we need more meetings and an extended deadline. Let our voices be heard.
And the speaker's voice.